Hello, beautiful soul. Shauna here, luminary life coach for women of the Awakened Collective, ready to profoundly transform their life by bringing to light the negative beliefs, perceptions, and wounds that are driving their life so they can reclaim their sovereignty, speak their truth, raise their consciousness, and move forward in the most radiant, authentic, and empowered way. Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I am grateful you are here. Before I get into the topic of a woman speaking her truth, I want to bring a message to you, a message of calm to you. Relaxed, deep, calm. It's easy for a woman to become anxious or stressed in life, especially if she is someone who watches the news. I invite you to take a moment right now to take a few deep cleansing breaths. Regardless of what you see out there, it is a wonderful time to be alive. Consciousness is rising on the planet. Affirm with me, it is a wonderful time to be alive. So take a moment to relax into your body. Let go of the tension and stress and worry. Relax. Maybe you want to close your eyes. Not if you're driving. Relax the muscles around your eyes and the muscles behind your eyes. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Relax your shoulders. Soften your belly. And take a few more deep breaths. Breathe and be calm. The truth is, the more calm you are, the more energy you have. Slow down. Let go of the tension and the stress and the worry. Allow yourself to be deeply relaxed and calm, even if just for a moment or two or three. Ask yourself, in what ways or what way can I bring calmness into everything I do? In what way can you bring calmness into everything you do? A quick and easy way to bring calmness is by breathing. Consciously focused on your breath. So many of us forget about our breath. We take it for granted. It is a gift. Now ask yourself, how can I remind myself to breathe? How can you remind yourself to breathe? Give space for those answers to emerge from within you. Take a few more deep cleansing breaths. And let go. Good. All right. So in my last recording, I spoke about how beliefs and fears determine a woman's behavior in speaking or not speaking her truth. I talked with you about the process that we all go through An event happens, a story is created, a meaning is assigned, a behavior is determined, and an outcome transpires. I talked with you about the waves of compulsion, the wave of compulsion to remain silent, the wave of compulsion to aggressively manipulate, control, and how the outcome of the process, and that outcome can look like, well, let me just say this. The outcome or the end of the wave is a great place to start, because in the beginning of the wave, when the event first happens and we are triggered in some way, and even through the middle of it, it can be virtually impossible to be present enough to do the work. So by starting at the end, you can work your way back, look back in retrospect. So for example, if something happened yesterday that you didn't speak up and you remained silent, or yesterday you found yourself apologizing for your behavior once again, today you could, if you wanted to, recreate the experience of yesterday, recreate it in the present moment so that you can start to look back. What was my behavior? My behavior was I was withdrawn, I made myself really small, and I didn't speak up. Or my behavior was accusatory, blaming, insulting, being insensitive to the needs of others, and aggressively speaking my truth. So those are the behaviors, and I'm going to touch upon this today, the encouragement or the invitation to start or continue your process of witnessing your behaviors. So you looked back to the behavior, looking back now in retrospect, to the best of your ability, to the degree you can, what was I feeling at that time that all of that was happening? Can I recognize any feelings knocking on the door of my awareness? Can I recognize any sensations that I was having in my body? And then looking back another step, so that's the fear, right? So then looking back another step, what was I telling myself? In the moments immediately following the event, what stories was I spinning in my mind? Because that's where the beliefs are. When you learn to create a more positive story, and this is where the idea of the new narrative comes in, because you're more consciously aware of your triggers, you are more deeply into your healing journey, you know yourself more authentically, you will no longer create a negative story, or if you do, it only lasts a matter of a few seconds because you become aware of it. You create a more positive story, you will generate a more positive feeling. You cannot have or be telling yourself a positive story and generate a negative feeling. It's impossible. Nor will you have a more destructive or dysfunctional or negative behavior because of it. So as you spin more empowering, supportive, loving, uplifting stories based on events that happen in your life, especially those challenges, you will assign a better feeling. A better feeling will emerge, which will then determine a better, more loving behavior, which then determines an outcome that is more your preference. So I talked about that in the last video, working your way back. Looking back is really interesting. I'm going to be talking about the throat chakra today, and I have to keep clearing my throat. On my defense, I was sick over the weekend, and a lot of talking, it just dries my throat out. So I have my water here if I need it. Now, I also remember in my last video mentioning the throat chakra and the colors of sky blue. Wow, sky blue and turquoise. I completely forgot that behind me are my fluid art chakra paintings. I did those. And right there is the throat chakra, Vishuddha, the fifth energy center. This energy center is responsible for communication, creativity, self-expression, and the ability to speak your personal truth with confidence and compassion. The basic right of the fifth chakra is to speak and be heard. Now, in my imagination, I imagine that some of you are asking, or maybe have asked yourself at some point, why is it so important for me to speak my truth? I encourage you to investigate that question honestly within you. What comes up for your own personal answers? I want to speak right now to some of the benefits or side effects that you can experience by speaking your truth. Number one, not that I'm numbering these, but I'm just saying this is the first thing I want to say. You heal yourself. You heal yourself and your life. If you are watching this right now, I imagine you are walking your spiritual path and you're hearing the call. You've heard a call. You know that speaking your truth fully is what is next for you on your healing journey. It's time to address this. So you heal yourself and you heal your life. You inspire others. The more you shine your own light of authenticity, the more you give others permission to do the same. You help people heal themselves by you being more authentic and real. Some other side effects or benefits of you speaking your truth: you feel at peace. You will be listened to and seen. Let me stop here for a second and I invite you to check in. Many of us don't want to be fully seen. We hide. So how did you react? What was your reaction to that statement? That you will be listened to and seen. Does that make you really happy? Or does that make you nervous? Simply observe what's going on. Explore what's coming up in the way of that narrative that runs continuously in the back of your mind. The story that you may have begun to spin from that statement. What do you sense in your physical body, and where is that sensation in your body? And what were you feeling? Did you notice any emotions or feelings to that statement? You will be listened to and seen when you speak your truth with confidence and compassion. You become empowered. You open, activate, and balance your throat chakra. You attract more highly conscious people into your life. You open your heart with honesty, transparency, and vulnerability. You become more courageous and confident. Those of you who speak more passively or don't speak at all, you tap back into that courage and that confidence, bringing in more masculine energy. Remember, we're looking to find that balance between masculine and feminine energy. You become more compassionate and understanding. Those of you who are aggressive and get really angry and rigid and controlling, you bring in more compassion, more understanding. You bring in more feminine energy, and you find that balance within you. You realize that you are no longer controlled by your fears, your worries, or your negative beliefs. Whoo! Woo! How freeing is that? To no longer be controlled by your fears, worries, and negative beliefs. Your relationships grow and evolve. The relationships that are not your let me try that one again. Your relationships that are not your vibrational frequency could end, fall away, or dissolve. Let me stop here again for a second. What did you notice with the idea that some of your relationships may end or fall away or dissolve when you begin the process of speaking your truth? When you define who you are, remain true to yourself, that some of those relationships may dissolve. What did you feel? What did you think? What did you sense? What was that narrative saying? I want to bring up the codependency for a moment, because those of you, I want to say us because I knew that part of myself very well. We think that we need certain people in our lives, that we can't imagine doing life without them. Those beliefs affect the way you speak your truth. And once you start speaking your truth, you initiate change in the outside world. You initiate change within relationships. Some of them will grow and deepen and evolve, but some of them will fall away. Can you be okay with that? You also, in speaking your truth, create a ripple effect out into the universe. You add to the healing of the collective and to the healing of the planet. Now, this is not supposed to be weight on your shoulders. So what I mean by that is, you're not doing this work for the collective or for the planet. You're doing the work for yourself. And each one of us who does this work on ourselves, who is in practices of self-discovery and personal development, healing, as we, as individuals, bring that balance within ourselves, the balance of masculine and feminine, as we heal, we automatically add to the healing of the collective. You don't even have to think about that, but you can know that you are making an impact on the planet and on humanity as a whole. You speaking your truth is vital for life on planet Earth. As I mentioned before, the basic right of the throat chakra is to speak and be heard. An imbalance of the chakra in the way of deficiency can look like a fear of speaking, remaining silent, speaking passively, not speaking at all, having a small, weak voice, shyness, and great difficulty putting feelings into words. On the other side of the coin, remember, coins are two-sided. There's no one-sided coins. On the other side of the coin is the excess. And that can look like talking too much, talking as a defense, interrupting when someone else is speaking, a dominating voice, an inability to truly listen, and aggressively speaking truth. So that's how it can show up in behaviors, the deficiency and the excess. Now, there are several ways that a woman can open, activate, and balance her communication center. It all begins with her willingness to look at her patterns. That could be your step number one, your entry point. Simply observing your behavior. So coming back now to the wave of compulsion, into that process we all go to. What is your end result? What is the outcome that you are not liking? Is it that you are sick and tired of apologizing for your behavior? Is it that you are sick and tired of having people take advantage of you? So look at the outcome and then take a step back. It's time to start looking at your patterns. Do you have a dominating voice? Are you a woman who controls your environment and manipulates those around you to get your needs met? Do you interrupt conversations? Are you insensitive to the needs of others? Do you put yourself first? Would you say that you're self-absorbed? Do you yell, accuse, blame, and hurl insults? Do you have a soft or absent voice? Are you a woman who lets others control you and control your life? Are the people around you manipulative, and do they take advantage of you? Do you sink into the background and always put the needs and wants of others before your own? Do you remain silent or say what you think others want to hear? Patterns. That's all I'm saying. Watch your patterns and speak the truth of your patterns honestly to yourself. Tell yourself, though, and I think this is an important point, tell yourself that it's okay to have these patterns. It's okay that they are here. And know that simply by witnessing them, you have begun the process of transforming them. You are a student of transformation and change, and you know that this is next, like this is something that you're ready to address. And simply by witnessing your patterns, that willingness to witness them and speak the truth of them to yourself, you have begun the process of transforming these patterns. And soon, you will develop the skills needed to express what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're sensing from a place of assertiveness. Feeling more empowered, you will speak your truth from a place of confidence and compassion. And my belief that starting point is your willingness. How willing are you to look honestly at your patterns of behavior when it comes to how you speak your truth? How willing are you to look at your patterns with eyes of curiosity, with an open heart, and with the willingness to understand? Because oftentimes what can happen is when we start looking at our own darkness, we can begin to judge and criticize ourselves. You don't want to go there. You've been doing that long enough. You don't need to judge or criticize yourself anymore. These patterns are a part of your personality. They are a portion of your consciousness. You are simply bringing them to light so that you can transform them and be the person you prefer to be. I'll be talking about these healing practices. I have more to say about the healing practices and how to develop the necessary skills for you to speak your truth. I'll be talking about those things in the coming weeks. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below. Click the bell for notifications. Like and share this video with the women in your circle. For now, allow yourself to become curious. Witness your patterns. In witnessing your patterns, watch your thoughts. In other words, pay attention to the stories you tell yourself. Those are the beliefs you're holding on to. Your beliefs are wrapped up in those stories that you spin. To the degree you can, to the best of your ability, tune into your body and notice what you're feeling. Notice any sensations and where they are in your physical body. You can start at the end. Remember that outcome, the end of the wave, recreated in the present moment. It's a great place to start. Eventually, you will get to the point that you will be able to catch it the moment the event happens, the moment the wave starts to build. I can promise you that because I've done it. I know from my own experience. So coming back again to your willingness to look with honesty at your patterns and asking questions. Questions are so powerful. Ask yourself, what am I afraid might happen if I spoke up? So in retrospect, looking at, recreating that moment that experience in the present moment. What was I afraid might happen if I spoke up? What was I afraid might happen if I softened? You can ask, what story was I telling myself? What was I believing as true in order for me to act this way or behave this way? Because remember, you cannot have the behavior without the belief coming first. And the belief is wrapped up in the stories that you tell yourself. So some questions for you to take with you, to use in your practice of self-discovery and in your willingness to look at your own patterns of behavior in how you either don't speak your truth or how you speak your truth. Because you are ready to change. You are ready to define who you are. You are ready to remain true to yourself. You are ready to live the most authentic, conscious version of yourself. I am complete. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, notice yourself to know yourself. Be in harmony and relationship with yourself first.